Mike Allen, Focus Ireland. I would say two things. One is, I think, to support the processes on here. Somebody who's been in and around the voluntary sector and political movement for a very long period of time. What I think is extraordinarily powerful here is there are a number of ideas that have been sort of not antagonistic, but as loggerheads and never found comfort with each other in the sector and politically, sitting in a fairly coherent document. I think that's an enormous step forward. I also want to pick up, the second one says, just pick up, Mary referred to it, and I know a number of people here will be interested in it. A number of organisations which are concerned, have been over a long period of time concerned with the issue of income poverty and levels of social welfare, have got together last week or so to start putting together a joint campaign to resist the caps in social welfare, the cut in the minimum wage, and the decision to remove the Christmas bonus. And I think in that group we've got most of the umbrella organisations concerned with this issue over a long period of time. And in early July we will have done our homework and we'll be very much reaching out to everybody else who has to have an issue, an interest in that issue, to try and make sure that there's a coherent campaign to stop those things going, because we've got to stop the bottom falling out if we're going to have the long view of where we're going in the future.
Hi, I'm Charles Stannisworth, I'm chairman of Antashka. I'm also one of the delegates on the environmental pillar of social partnership. And in relation to what Joanne said earlier, why don't environmental groups talk about equality? My problem with this document, actually no problem with the document per se, is the opposite of that. Why don't people in equality talk more about environmental problems? Because I think it's a great answer to the current crisis, the financial crisis, but there are a number of other crises tsunamis coming down the road at us very quickly, that, as was mentioned here earlier, energy, food, water, biodiversity, and climate change. So I think that there needs to be more of an interaction between the environmental groups and yourselves to bring that together, because we don't have time as environmental groups to spend our life looking at equality problems, and you probably shouldn't have time as looking at equality problems covering the environmental problems, that we should trust each other but work with each other to ensure that everything is covered.
Alva Smith from Feminist Open Forum and also chair of the National Lesbian Gay Federation and the Fraud and People Before Profit Alliance. I think it's a great document, great to see it out there, and like other speakers have said, I think it will make a very valuable contribution to our discussions and actually politics in moving this country to somewhere different and fairer and more equal. But I think that it would be really helpful to have in the introduction some mention of the kinds of systems that we are actually seeking to combat. Why basically we're seeking to combat poverty, what causes it, what causes inequality. We've heard various approaches this morning, but I don't think that I think it's good to actually name capitalism and patriarchy and so on. I think it is important, and I don't think that we should think that people out there can't actually accept that. People out there can accept that. They know perfectly well what they need to oppose, and I think that we need to be clear that this is an oppositional document. It is, and we shouldn't actually try and shy away from that. And then secondly, very briefly, I think for a document which rightly emphasises the importance of participatory democracy, finding some kind of mechanism, and I know it's difficult, of ensuring that there is a real kind of feedback mechanism into the ongoing process that Mary talked about and other people, so that the people who do engage with it and the social movements and the communities actually then see that there is some kind of concrete result. Okay, thank you.
Donald Tolan, the European Anti-Poverty Network. First of all, just briefly to congratulate everybody involved with the whole process and making today happen, because it is a small beacon in what is quite a difficult and distressing period politically, etc. I would just, to develop some of the points, to add to some of the points, and I won't dwell long, is I think the fluidity of this process, I think, is terribly useful in terms of broadening out who it is that's hearing what's within this vision, because as we have known to our cost historically, the sooner we become institutionalized in organization, etc., and territory, can be the death knell to the development and progression of ideas. So I would encourage a maintenance of that fluidity, but also encourage us to look out for, whilst this is a broadening exercise, and that there are some people in the room today who we wouldn't necessarily be engaging with. And I think the issue about ecology, environmentalism, rights, equality, groupings, they're hugely interrelated, and I think we have to stop seeing it as us and them. They're fundamentally interconnected, and that's a responsibility. But equally, take the point that Jack O'Connor and challenge that he raises, is that a significant portion of the population have been, to use his phrasing, trained over the past number of decades to have huge difficulty with a lot of the ideas and concepts that are contained. So let's not underestimate the challenge, and that this is, as I observe it, a long-term project, and that's okay. That's okay. Let's not go for quick fix processes, because they haven't delivered as effectively to the people that we purport to represent in the past, near or distant. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Flocka and I work in COLOG, which is a development organisation. I just wanted to say that I was really heartened to see the mention of development and global justice issues in the document already. It's very reassuring to see it, and I think that's really important, that while we look at internally how we as a society within Ireland deal with equality issues and rights issues and so on, that we also look externally to the role that Ireland plays in the international community, and to make sure that we are coherently advocating for global justice issues internationally around many of those issues as well. These discussions reflect a lot of discussions that are happening within the development sector. I think we face a lot of the same problems which have been outlined here today, and I certainly think the development sector would be very interested in building stronger alliances with a lot of the organisations here, very willing to do that. I was asked by Hans, who is the director of the umbrella body of development NGOs, to make mention of one specific date, which is the 7th of October. Sorry, the 17th of October, when millions of people stand up around the world under the banner of Stand Up Against Poverty and Inequality. So it's a global justice issue, but it could be applied just as much domestically as well. So he was suggesting that this might be one practical day that people might be interested in doing something. Thanks.
My name is Chris O'Leary. I'm working in the community and voluntary sector as the CDP coordinator, but I'm also a recently re-elected councillor as an independent Cork City Council. I think there's a number of things I would like to say. One, this is well overdue, to be honest about it. I think, you know, people need to come together to explore the opportunities and, I suppose, take advantage of, we say, gatherings like this. But saying that, we also need to be conscious that technically, if I was here today, I'm not supposed to move outside the area that I now work in, because government funding doesn't allow that. I'm not to network. I'm not, even as an employee of a community development project, allowed to be politically active, or my employers will lose their funding. This is a constant stream and attack on the voices that have been voiced. We've seen it with as earlier speakers have said, with Combat Poverty, the Equality Authority. Community workers co-op in the past have lost their funding, and so forth. I think what we need to do is protect those who come away from today and begin to try and move this forward, that they're not going to be attacked by the state, let's call it as it is, and be subverted into be silenced. And I think that's a caution we've got to be very much aware of, that those of us who sit in gatherings like this are seen to be a threat. And that's something we've got to very much bear in mind, and to make sure it doesn't actually get carried out.